I ain't gonna lie, babe. As a leader of a mega church, as a CEO, I'll be tired of being in charge.
I know.
And sometimes I want you to take over. And when you come to the bedroom and you're like, be still. Lay down. I'm like, all right then. I love it. I love it because I don't have to be in charge.
But even when you say that, when you're CEO and you've been in charge all day, I've been running things too.
I know we left you on a cliffhanger. We talked about last week about who's the boss. There's been so much debate about should women submit to men or should be more egalitarian. Should we share roles? And Rhonda and I over the years have learned how to find a rhythm to where we know that I'm the head of the house, but my wife is co-head. She's co-lead. And there's sometimes when I yield to her wisdom and sometimes when she yields to mine. And then there's times we mutually lead together.
Absolutely.
We found a rhythm. But we want to help you find a rhythm. And the question on the table tonight is this. Can a woman, and I want to be specific because, in the African American community, there's been a lot of women who've been raised by single moms. A lot of men been raised by single moms. But what I've discovered, sweetheart, is that in a lot of the counseling that we've done over the years, we will run into a very strong-willed woman who, because she had a mother who was very strong-willed. Mm-hmm. And as you said last week, when you were talking about when we get married, some women feel like they got to relinquish their power in order to submit. Is it possible to be raised by a strong single mama and learn how to submit as a wife?
I think it is possible. I mean, to stutter with but it is possible to be raised by a strong single woman, mother, and be able to submit to your husband. But I think there may be times when initially that they may feel that, submission feels like a weakness.
Why?
And because they've been raised by a single mom. Well, no, let's just take the gloves off. Because the mom, the mother has done everything.
Held it down.
Held everything, and they can depend on their mother.
Mm-hmm.
The father may not have been in the picture, but they know that they can depend on their mom. And so as they grow into adulthood, they know if they need to get anything done, they can depend on self. That I don't have to depend on a man to do A, B, C, D, because I can do it all myself.
You know what I heard when you just said that?
What was that?
I heard something in the spirit.
What's that?
They have been hurt and let down by their fathers not following through and seeing all the weight fall on their mother. And their resolve is, I'll do it myself. You'll never disappoint me because I'm going to do it myself. And I think a lot of women rob their husbands of the opportunity to step up and be a man because you don't believe he can be a man, because you've never seen a man. But when it is in the dating process and you vet out that you got a strong man, he's dependable, he goes to work, he comes home, he takes care of the family, he pays the bill, that man is deserving of a chance to show you, I got you. But if you've been traumatized in the past by men who let you down, i.e. your father, it's kind of hard to put your trust in a man because you never seen one to catch you.
That's one perspective. Another perspective is we're talking about a woman being raised by a strong single mom. What about a man being raised by a strong single mom, where the man is always seeing mom hold it down, so he's got in his mind, oh, this woman's gonna hold me down, she's gonna take care of everything. I think there are a lot of women that are met with that man as opposed to a man that is raised by a strong woman and he makes up in his mind, oh, I'm not gonna be that man, I'm gonna take care of this, I'm gonna take care of a woman, I'm gonna make sure that she's safe, that these things are taken care of, as opposed to the man who, oh, I've always been taken care of by a woman, let her continue to
Man,
do it.
listen, I think the pendulum can swing either way on that scenario. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you both scenarios.
Okay, let's do it.
It could swing to the left where you're like, all right, you strong, take care of me. They've been mama to death. And so they don't contribute, they don't pay any bills, they sit around their drawers, they play video games, they waiting on you to cater to them hand and foot, That's one perspective.
Okay.
But then it's another perspective of guys like, I seen my mama crying,
Right.
she can't pay the bills. I seen her slaving and getting carpal tunnel from working in the factory. And you ain't got to do nothing. You're gonna be a kept woman. I'm gonna take care of you. As a matter of fact, I don't want you working. I don't want you doing nothing. I'm gonna take care of you. Stay at home. And so both of those extremes can be unhealthy.
Right.
I think the balance is recognizing your wife's strength and appreciating that strength, but not abusing it.
That's good. Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So I think both scenarios, men and women who've been raised by strong single mothers, need to realize that came out of necessity. But what we have is a mutual relationship. We got each other. I'm a movement by myself, but I'm a force when we're together. One to twin powers activate. There is something powerful that takes place when two people come together and link up and become one.
But we're trying to help them figure out how to get to that
Right,
point.
right.
So during the dating process is the time before you become husband and wife that these discoveries are uncovered on, who is the stronger vessel on this. But I don't think there's enough transparency during the dating time that allows room for that to be discovered.
So how do two strong people avoid a tug of war in their relationship?
They have to get the counseling, do premarital counseling to find out, what their strengths and weaknesses are, and not something that's just thrown together. And to really excavate, okay, these are the power dynamics that you were grown up and brought up in. These are the ones that I was brought up in. This is what I want to take from my origin. And let's build our new together. But it takes intentionality.
I think you need to finish that statement. It's a very profound statement that we do in marriage counseling. We ask couples, what do you want to take from your family of origin?
Right.
And what do you want to leave? So let's talk about that just for a second.
Okay.
What are some strong attributes that you brought from your family of origin, and what did you choose to leave behind? As it relates to power dynamics.
Well, I think one of the things that I did learn from my mom is that she was very loving and giving. She made sure that her home was a sanctuary, that she took care of us, that the world outside may beat up my brothers, my dad, my sisters would go through their individual struggles, but home was safe, where you could let your hair down. There was always a hot meal, there was hugs and love. What I wanted to leave was that it was only one-sided, where I didn't agree with it at the time that my mom was a stay-at-home mom. And I think I kind of wanted to be a latchkey kid because my friends were latchkey kids. But then when I became older and realized the importance that my mom played in the upbringing of all of us, we were always safe. We were never hungry. When we came home, home was home. It was safe. Almost like when you're running and you get home, when you're playing a game outside as a kid, home was safe.
I think early on in our marriage, when we started New Direction Christian Church September 9th, 2001, somewhere shortly thereafter, we made a concerted effort for you to come out of corporate America and stay home. But that was not easy for you.
No, it wasn't.
You kind of wrestled with that. Talk about what was going on inside of you when you came out of corporate and you came home.
Well, one, I had gone to college, graduated, had my degrees, and I'm like, I felt I was giving up a part of myself, my own individuality, what I've been trained for, what I learned. But knowing that my children during that season needed me to be home because the weight of ministry was going to be stronger on you. And so we had to decide this is what's going to be best for our household because we didn't want our children to be raised by the streets.
That's so strong. Man, you just helped me see something. Your strength was needed for the health of our family. You sacrificed your career for the health of our family and the health of our church. I'm hearing this with fresh ears.
Okay.
Try not to get emotional, but it took great strength for you to say, I'm going to put my career on pause for God's calling on my husband's life. And looking back in retrospect, that was you submitting to God and trusting your husband that what God is calling you to do is so big and important. I got to make sure our cubs are protected.
Yeah.
I got to make sure that their homework is done, that they feel loved, that they don't get lost in this mega church. I got to make sure they're good. And praise be to God, your strength and your love in creating a safe atmosphere at home. Our kids never went to jail. They never got in trouble. They graduated. 2 of them are working at the church. 1 is getting ready to graduate. So, baby, thank you for trusting me and the God and what God had called me to do. So I'm grateful for that. And I think what I was also trying to get to is you wrestle with the ghost of kind of resenting seeing your mother in that subservient role.
You're right.
Like, I wanted my mama to go to school. I wanted my mama to work. And she's watching other people's kids and she's staying at home and daddy gets to go out. And you wrestle with that. What was the pivot for you where you finally embraced it and you had peace about being at home with your boys and being in that role?
Well, after being at home for a while, then going back to corporate, and one of the times, because I would go back, come back, but it was the baby boy that said to me, I miss you being home. And at that time, I was like, for the older 2, I was home, and he's not experiencing what they got to experience. And I never wanted to do for one that I didn't do for the others. So at that time, it's like, it is important for me to be here. They're not taking advantage of me being at home, that I'm going to be here to take them to, before they started driving, to all their games. I was that mom when you got in my car and you had practice, whether it was track or football, that I had snacks in the car for everybody to drop you off at practice. So my role was very important. So that was the realization.
I hear the women screaming in my ear right now.
Uh-oh, what are they screaming?
They're screaming, your wife gave up all of that for your calling. What have you done, Stacy Spencer? What I had to do was die. I had to die to myself. The Bible says that men ought to love their wives as Christ loved the church. I had some old habits that had to die, some toxic masculinity that had to die so that our marriage could live. And that meant me being sensitive to your needs, to what you needed. When you said, I need you to open up to me more. I need you to be transparent. I need you to do what you say you're going to do. Early on in our marriage, because of my childhood abuse, I had an issue with pornography early on in the marriage. And that broke your heart. He's like, hey, do you want that more than me? And I had to look at that and weigh those. And I remember a movie called Fireproof, where the husband was addicted to pornography and the wife was thinking about leaving, and he saw the computer on the desk that he was looking at the porn on, and when he finally thought he was going to lose his wife, he took that computer, took a baseball bat, and smashed it in the front yard. and put a note on the table where the computer was, and it said, I love you more. I love you more than that. And that's what I had to come to grips with, and did the work to rewire my brain, because I was molested as a child, to say sex is not equivocal to love.
Right.
But love makes sex better. And so I had to die to that. I had to die to not negotiating our power agreement. I had to take on some gender fluid roles around the house, washing clothes and loading the dishwasher, because I saw that made you smile. And as a man, I want to see you smile more. So when I found out what made you smile, your love language is gifts of service. And so I had to die to self to say, it's not about Rhonda serving me all the time. I've got to serve you too. And so Jesus gave up his life for the church. I had to give up some things. I had to give up, like, Friday's our date night. I cannot do any ministry work on our date day. I've got to negotiate with you about how often I'm gone from the house and from the family. You remember when Harold Ford Jr. wanted me to run for Congress in Memphis, and we went out to breakfast, and I came back and I said, babe, Congressman Ford says I should run in his place, and what do y'all think? And I remember Amari saying at 12 years of age, Daddy, you're already gone enough. So I had to kill that ambition of being a politician, because the church was already demanding too much time from my family. So what I'm saying is, in this power struggle, I've had to die to self. She's had to die to self. She's had to submit. I've had to submit. We worked it out together. What makes a man worthy of submission?
Again, that trust, that I believe a man should not just say what he's going to do, that he needs to do what he says he's going to do. You know, for me, action speaks louder than words. So defining what that really is and doing what you say you're going to do 99.9% of the time.
What builds trust for you?
The consistency.
Consistency.
The consistency, yes.
And for me as a man, what builds loyalty, what builds trustworthy as a partner, from my perspective, from you, is the wisdom. You want good for me, not bad. I don't have to fight with you when I get home. I've been fighting with the world.
Right.
I don't want to come home. The Bible says I'd rather have a dry morsel of bread on a roof than to share a house with a nagging wife. You make coming home something I look forward to.
Oh,
I want to leave work early most times so I can get home. These people get on my nerves. I want to go lay in my wife's bosom. You know, I want to walk in and be embraced by your love, your kisses, and I look forward to coming home, because you make home a place that feels safe for me. A woman with emotional intelligence who's building with me, not tearing down. And I think we have built something wonderful together.
I agree.
We built a wonderful family. We've built a wonderful ministry at our church, and we're building a wonderful ministry with Eden Restored. But it's because we've been able to share power.
Absolutely.
The last segment we want to talk to y'all about is, we want to give you some practical tools for couples. Segment 4, we want to give you some practical tools for couples. So, babe, mutual submission. How can I serve you today? I think that's a good question that spouses can ask each other, don't you?
I agree, yeah. It's one of those things, or the rephrase on how can I make your day better, you know, type of thing. So making those decisions together, or taking something off another one's plate if you have the capacity, you know, to do so, or even moving that item to the next day if there's no more room. You might have to negotiate what needs to be moved, what needs to be done that day, and what could wait till later on the week.
What about sexual power dynamics? How do we share that power in the bedroom?
That's where you both have to communicate. You know, that open communication of being able to openly express what your desires are, what your wants and your needs are, and taking the lead sometimes.
I ain't gonna lie, babe. as a leader of a mega church, as a CEO, I'll be tired of being in charge.
I know.
And sometimes I want you to take over. And when you come to the bedroom and you're like, be still, lay down. I'm like, all right then. I love it because I don't have to be in charge.
But even when you say that, when you're CEO and you've been in charge all day, I've been running things too.
You have?
So it's not like I'm sitting twiddling my thumbs and waiting for you to come home. You know, we have to have realistic expectations.
But
it's gonna wipe out everything else.
However, and
just a different transitional word.
So you're in charge at home, I'm in charge at work, and sometimes you want to be catered to sexually, right? Mm-hmm. Be 100% with me in front of these folk right now. Who initiates more in the bedroom, me or you?
I'm doing my cleansing.
Come on now.
Just being transparent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for the sake of time, you.
All right. But last night, I appreciate you.
But okay, I don't want to but there are times when there is not a one that's going to initiate. It's a mutual thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, we come together and this is a mutual desire. It's not where there's one person that's like, all right, you know, I need this to go to sleep, or, you know, I go on to get out of my hair. It's a mutual thing. And I think that as couples age, mature together, it should become more mutual than one saying that they are asking for it more.
Good sex is like a good dance. Mm-hmm. You know, at one point, one partner's leading.
Right. And
then you switch and the other partner's leading. And so it just depends. And the more you all practice together, the more you're gonna feel each other's body. You're gonna feel like, okay, they may be tired. Let me take the lead tonight.
Mm-hmm. Or they may be tired, and knowing what that person's love language is, or not, you know that rubbing said person's back or feet, that may be the intimacy that person needs at that time, and it could lead to something more, or it may not.
Yeah. Another thing is we got to lean in on each other's strengths.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm a visionary, right? Mm-hmm. And so I kind of see the big picture. You're a detailed person.
Yes.
Very analytical. And you're like, yeah, but have you thought about this? And that's going to cost this, and that's going to impact that. And I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't think about it. But together, we are a heck of a couple, right? I can see the big picture, but you can also see the potential snags. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, you always proudly define yourself as a pessimist, right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
You see the potential problems. I love to see the potential outcomes and potential victories. But when we mesh that together, we're able to execute on something that's beautiful, mm-hmm. right?
Yeah.
So leadership in marriage is situational, not dictational, right? You can't come into a marriage and say, I'm running everything. I'm the man. And I'm a man. I'm not challenged by my wife's input. I welcome your input. I welcome your discernment. I welcome all of the analytical side of you. And vice versa, you welcome my strength, my vision, that fatherly mm-hmm. presence for our boys, having all boys. I know you're glad you got a man in the house. With these knuckleheads, you know, they're not knuckleheads. They're good young men. But when they were growing up, sometimes you'd say, hey, go handle that.
Right.
They're not listening to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a man, so.
What's that mean?
Meaning that God has given me a husband we have dual responsibilities, partnerships, and I firmly agree that a man should be able to teach another man how to be a man.
But you also know what, ladies and gentlemen? There's been times when them boys run to their mama.
Well, there's different situations.
When their hearts have been broken or they need some relationship advice, and I'll hear them in there on the phone talking, and I'm like, why didn't they call me? They needed their mama.
But the thing is, they have both of us.
That's
so
right.
praise God, they have
That's
both
right.
of us.
That's right. So what we've been talking about in our podcast for the last 2 weeks is who's the boss. I hope you got the answer tonight that it's just not one. Ultimately, God's model is that the man is the head. We both agree that the man is the head. But we also agree that the woman is a helpmeet. She comes alongside of the man. There would be no Barack Obama without Michelle Obama, literally, because Barack worked for Michelle in the law office.
He did.
At some point, Michelle switched and said, you know what? Now that you're my husband and you have aspirations to run for office, I'm going to submit to your leadership. And she even gave him stipulations. I'll let you run for president if you stop smoking. But she also was like, after the second term, I'm done with this. But when we look at Michelle Obama and Barack Obama, we see two power couples.
Yeah.
I don't see a weak woman.
No.
I see a very strong, intelligent lawyer who worked alongside another intelligent lawyer, and they helped to bring hope and change to our country. Oh, I miss their leadership so much. They were such and still are a powerful couple, but they taught us what mutual submission looks like. And I hope that you guys can take that model, take our model, take God's model, and say that it is situational, not dictational.
Absolutely.
God calls us to be husband and wife, for the two to become one, for the wife to submit to the husband and the husband to submit to the wife, for mutual submission and to reverence each other as Christ reverenced the church, so much so that he died for the church. And so we both have to die to our selfish ways, wanting to get our own preferences and to see what's best for our marriage.
You're right.
That's the rhythm of a relationship.
And you're right. And you said when two become one, the goal isn't power over the other. The goal is to have power with each other.
My lady, my queen, I love you, girl.
I love you too.
Listen, man, I hope that this has helped somebody tonight. Put some fire in the chat if this helped you tonight. We appreciate y'all so much. When two become one, the goal isn't power, it's power with. I love that, baby. In Eden Restored, we don't fight for control. We don't fight for control. We thrive in mutual submission. Love and strength. It's mutual. That's what Eden Restored is all about. When God put Adam and Eve in the garden, God said it's not good for man to be alone. And he made a helpmeet. He took out of Adam a woman and made Eve. And he was like, finally, I feel complete. When you're in a good marriage and you're mutually submitted, the two of you become whole together.
Absolutely.
Right? So we're so glad that you guys tuned in tonight. Listen, like, share, subscribe in that order. Like, share, subscribe, and send this out to as many friends as you can think of. We want to hit 1,000 couples by the end of the year so we can all be restored together. Anything else you want to tell the couples?
And as we always say, you need a doctor, a counselor. Stacy and I have this wonderful group called Eden Circle, and it's couples that we are striving to stay married. We lead that effort. We do webinars. We meet up. We have fun together. We're certified sexologists, so we teach a lot of what we learned in class to these couples. If this is something that you may be interested in, please go to theedencircle.com.
And at the top of the year, we're going to be offering a special track, a boot camp for 6 months, where we're going to do some intense recovery. We recognize that some couples get stuck and they don't know how to get unstuck. And we want to go in with you and walk with you for 6 months. We'll be introducing this in January of 2026. So if you're interested in this boot camp, why not email us and let us know, hey, I'm interested in that boot camp because I really want our marriage to work. What does that look like? Where can they email us?
You can email us at Dr. Stacy and Rhonda Spencer at gmail.com. Again, that's Dr. Stacy, Stacy, and Rhonda Spencer at gmail.com.
All right. We love you guys. Y'all gonna be all right. You're gonna figure this out. We figured it out 32 years. It was 32 years on 9/11. And we figured this thing out. We've been to counseling. We've taken classes, and we've been through the fire. We've been through the flood. But we're here to tell you that love will keep you together. And so thank you guys for tuning in. Again, share this, subscribe, and until next time, continue to walk together, love each other passionately, and figure out this dance called love. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.